Today I'll talk about good affordable fragrances with a strong vanilla note in them, and today's list will include a total of 10 of them. The first fragrance that I'm going to show you in today's video comes from the brand of Armaf, and it's called Tacchim Uomo Rosso, and this fragrance is very heavily inspired by Paco Rabanne's Invictus Victory Elixir. Now, Victory Elixir used to be very popular a couple of years ago when it came out, and not too long after that, Middle Eastern brands started to come up with their clones. Fragrance World have a clone. In fact, they have a couple of clones. Hadlash have a clone. Armaf also have a couple of clones. This probably is my favorite clone of Victory Elixir out of all that I own. This one smells very similar to the original fragrance, meaning that you'll get a fragrance that's very sweet, that relies on a lot of vanillic sweetness. There's a bit of a coconut sweetness in this one. In the opening feels just a hint fresh and aromatic, but it's all about the sweetness basically with this fragrance. Feels a little bit youthful, has a very high compliment factor. It's a great fragrance for the cold weather. This can serve also as a great fragrance for a date night, for an example. Very nice tough performance is quite good, I would say, getting close to the original one, which is a very long lasting scent. Projects nicely, and the best thing out of all is that this is a very affordable. Sometimes this can be found for as low as 20 something dollars, 25 euros, making it just the cost a fraction of the price of the original one. The next one is a fragrance that doesn't feel as youthful as this one, feels more on the mature end. It comes from the brand of French Avenue, and it's called Igua, and this one is a clone of YSL Tuxedo, and probably this is the highest quality Middle Eastern clone of Tuxedo that I've tried so far. So still get a lot of vanilla, but it's used in a different way. It's not as sticky sweet as something that you'll find, for example, in Tacchim Uomo Rosso. In here the vanilla is combined with a bit of rose, with some patchouli, with some spices, maybe a hint of tobacco, and this one feels a lot more grown up. This doesn't feel as sweet, feels kind of floral, maybe just brings a hint of sort of an old school barbershopy vibe as well. It's a little bit more a dressed up scent, for an example, and this is a very nice fragrance. Now, it's affordable, but it's not that cheap, I would say. In Europe this costs somewhere between 50 to 60 euros, so 60 to 70 dollars maybe in the US, so it's a little bit more on the expensive side, but the quality that you get in return is really nice, and also this offers pretty nice performance and projection as well. Keeping on with the theme of slightly more mature, slightly more gentlemanly and dressed up feeling vanilla fragrances that are affordable, the next one comes from the brand of Hadlash, and it's called Shiaka for men. This one smells a lot like Amouage Reflection Men, and in a way can serve as an alternative for Gucci Guilty Elixir as well. So again, we're talking about a vanilla based scent, but this one having a lot more greenness, a lot more aromatic nature compared to, let's say, Tacchim Uomo Rosso, and even to Igua as well. So you're still getting the vanilla, but it's used in a bit of a retro way. There's a bit of pepperness. This has quite a lot of green notes in it. Also, it has a neroli note, which adds a bit of a clean feel to the scent profile. And as I said, this feels a little bit more old school, a little bit more mature, not as sweet as some of the other fragrances that I'm going to show in today's video. Still though, the quality is really nice, and this is another one of those scents, just like Igua, that you can dress up a little bit. Has a bit of a nostalgic vibe, has a bit of an old school vibe going on, but I like this one a lot, and offers nice quality and good performance. So it's been a pretty good fragrance for me personally. The next one comes from the brand of Maison Alhambra, and it's a really nice chippy. It's called Hercules. This one is a clone of none other than Parfum de Marly's Herod. So if you're familiar with Herod, then you know how Hercules smells. It relies on a lot of tobacco, but also a lot of sweet notes, and one of those sweet notes included is the note of vanilla. There's a bit of spiciness as well, but basically it's mostly about the combination of the sweet notes of the vanilla and the tobacco. It smells really nice. It's an unisex fragrance that in my opinion leans to the masculine side, but it's easy to wear, and this was one of those surprisingly good cheapies, considering that at the time that I got this bottle, I'm not sure exactly how much this costs right now, but when I got it, I paid something like 15-16 euros, and this smells damn close to the original fragrance and also offers pretty good performance. It's not exactly the same performance wise as the original one, but still getting very close, and all that for like a tenth of the price of the original, even less than that. So if you like a fragrance with a stronger tobacco note with some sweetness, something that doesn't feel overly strong or dark, then definitely Hercules is a nice choice in my opinion. The next two that I've included in today's video in a way smell similar to each other, because the original fragrances that they have been inspired by also smell close to each other, but at the same time I think they're different enough from each other so that I can include both of them. The first one comes from the brand of Arabiat Prestige and it's called Nyall Queen, and this one is a clone of YSL Baby Cat, and this is one of the two very best clones of Baby Cat that I've tried in my so far fragrance journey and my experience with Middle Eastern fragrances, the other one being Ferte from French Avenue. So we're talking about a heavy dose of vanilla with this one, but it feels a little bit dark because there's some incense with this one, there's a tobacco note in here, there's a lot of suede leather as well, but this remains a very sweet fragrance. In fact, after some maceration this became quite thick and sort of slightly dark. It's sweet, it projects really nicely, it's a beast of a performer, lasts for a very long time, and if you overspray this one you'll probably end up filling a room. Now I find the scent profile to be leaning a little bit to the feminine side, although sometimes I wear this, but for example my wife is a huge fan of this scent profile and especially of Nyall Queen. So if you're looking for a superb clone of Baby Cat with beastly performance and projection, then definitely check out Nyall Queen from Arabiat Prestige. The next one comes from the brand of Latafa and it's called Ishka Gold, and this in a way smells, as I said, similar to Nyall Queen for example, but the inspiration here, the original inspiration for this one has been Rosendo Mateu number 5. So it's another very strong vanilla based fragrance, again with some incense and with some suede leather, but this one doesn't feel as sweet as Nyall Queen for example. Here the incense note is more ramped up, the suede leather note is more ramped up, and this is like a more masculine take on that sort of an scent profile in general. This also has superb quality and beastly performance. This is another one of those fragrances that, especially after some maceration, started to last for an eternity on my skin and project really nicely. It's a little bit more expensive, it's part of the original Pride line from Latafa. Nyall Queen also is a little bit more on the expensive side, but both of them I think are really worth it if you like vanilla based fragrances with beastly performance. Nyall Queen is for those of you who like the vanilla to be a little bit sweeter, maybe leaning a little bit more to the feminine side, and Ishka Gold is for those of you who like the vanilla done in a slightly more masculine way with more leather and more incense, but both of them are great and beasts when it comes to performance. The next one comes from the brand of Fragrance World and it's called Vanilla Soul Sweet. This one is heavily inspired by Spirituous Double Vanilla from Guerlain. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing the name of the original fragrance exactly, correctly. But this is again a fragrance that relies pretty much almost entirely on the note of vanilla. This is done again in a slightly more feminine way, but this one has some booziness in it. There's a bit of a rum note in here. There's some incense, a bit of pepperness as well, but basically it's all about that sweet, slightly boozy feeling vanilla. For example, I also find this one smelling similar to something like Mercedes Club Black as well. But Mercedes Club Black maybe feels a little bit more masculine than this one. This is a little bit more, I would say, unisex leaning, maybe even a little bit feminine leaning, but it's a very nice, very easy to wear vanilla based scent with nice quality, and on my skin at least with very decent performance. Now it's not as strong as some of the other vanilla based fragrances that I've included in today's video, but definitely smells nice and in my opinion has good enough performance. The next one comes from the brand of French Avenue. It's called Liquid Brun, and this one is heavily inspired by a very popular scent profile currently. The original one is called Parfum de Marly Altair, and pretty much every major Middle Eastern brand has come up with their own version of Altair, and Liquid Brun is probably the best known clone of Altair or inspiration of Altair. So again, we're talking about a fragrance that relies mostly on the vanilla note, but in here it's combined with the note of cinnamon, with some white florals, orange blossom note with a lot of ambroxan. This smells again very modern. It smells a little bit more on the simplistic side, to be honest, but the scent profile is likable and it seems that people people in general like this scent quite a lot. It's a, I would say, a masculine fragrance, but that's pretty close to being perfectly unisex because of the amount of vanilla and the amount of sweetness that this one has. And also here the performance is absolutely superb. My bottle of liquid Brun actually outperforms my bottle of the original fragrance, for example. Total longevity is pretty much on par, but liquid Brun definitely projects a little bit better because it's a little bit sharper and slightly more spicy in the opening. And I'm going to finish off today's video with two clones of Jean Paul Gaultier fragrances. The first one is a Hall of Fame clone scent. It's called 9 PM. It comes from the brand of Avnam. And this one is very heavily inspired by Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultramol. I absolutely love Ultramol and I really like all the good clones of Ultramol. And for today's video I've included a 9 PM, which again, as I said, this was the first major Ultramol clone and one of the Hall of Fame clone scents that has been around for a few years now, and probably at this point in time it outsells the original fragrance without any problem. So you're getting a lot of vanillic sweetness, but you're also getting a bit of lavender, a bit of mint, and in the case of 9 PM, instead of that pure note that you'll find with the original fragrance, here you'll find a slightly fresher feeling apple note. But other than that, this smells very similar to Ultramol. And the dry down is all about that vanilla, maybe a hint of tonka bean. It's sweet, it feels modern, feels a bit youthful. It's pretty versatile. As long as you're a bit younger, you can wear this one throughout the year. You can wear it on a date night, you can wear it on a night out. You can even wear it in the office, in my opinion, as long as you don't go too heavy on the sprayer. Now, my two bottles of 9 PM are a little bit older, so both of them have really nice performance. They last for a very long time and project really nicely. I'm not sure how modern batches of 9 PM are doing performance-wise, but if you can get your hands on a slightly older batch, like a 2 or 3 years old bottle, then definitely you won't be disappointed by the performance. And the last fragrance that I've included in today's video comes from the brand of Ras House. It's called House Elixir, and this one smells a lot like Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male Elixir. So, you know, currently, along with the original Altair, Le Male Elixir is one of the most popular scents that the Middle Eastern brands are cloning or doing their own inspiration versions, and I just had to include a clone or an inspiration of Le Male Elixir. So basically this is again all about the sweetness of the vanilla with some added honey sweetness. I think in this case there's a bit of a dark chocolate. You still get a bit of that aromatic notes like the lavender and the mint. You also get a strong tobacco note, which doesn't feel challenging or anything else, especially mixed up with all the sweet notes. It smells very modern, it smells very sexy, it smells very easy to wear. This is a great fragrance for the cold weather. You can wear it through the day, but in my opinion it's mostly about the night wearings of this one. Again, a date night, a night out. Very nice fragrance with superb quality and fantastic performance, almost on par with the original fragrance. And so guys, in today's video I showed you 10 great affordable vanilla based fragrances. I hope that you found today's video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video for your dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.